Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Walt here from Down the Block Sports, and today I want to talk about the Boston Celtics. The Celtics defeat the Miami Heat last night 100-96 to advance to the NBA Finals for the first time since 2010. What I want to talk about today is what happened in that series against the Heat and preview the upcoming series against the Golden State Warriors. Again, I'm Alec Walt. This is Down the Block Sports. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more of my exclusive content. Yes, the Boston Celtics are on their way to the NBA Finals. The Celtics defeat the Heat 100-96 in Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals, setting up a potential 7-game series against the Golden State Warriors. What a weird series we had in the Eastern Conference Finals. A series of ridiculous runs, a series of one team showing up and the other not, setting up for a Game 7 that went all the way down to the wire. I mean, the Miami Heat in the final minute nearly took the game from the Celtics before they were able to have some solid defensive plays. And thank God Jimmy Butler missed that three-point shot that went just short. I mean, Butler played all 48 minutes last night. I mean, that guy played out of his mind, and the Celtics still found a way to advance to the finals. But the Celtics are going up against the Golden State Warriors team that plays much differently than the Miami Heat. The Heat are one of the more physical teams in the NBA. The Heat are led by someone like Jimmy Butler, who doesn't have the best supporting cast. I mean, Tyler Hero and Kyle Lowry dealt with injuries during the postseason series. It was really Jimmy Butler had to go off, or the Miami Heat weren't winning the basketball game. Look at the Golden State Warriors. They're going up against a team that shoots a lot of threes, makes a lot of those three-point shots, and it's not just Steph Curry. They also have Klay, Thompson, Jordan Poole, Draymond Green. Yes, he's not the best offensively, but he's a nasty playmaker for someone on the wing, and Andrew Wiggins. So, when we look at these last couple series the Celtics played against, we saw some teams that were dealing with injuries. There was no, of course, Ben Simmons in series number 1. There was no Chris Middleton in series number 2. Miami had to deal with series. We're seeing the full Golden State Warriors, which is why they were able to win the West. Now, here are the two differences between the Celtics and the Warriors going into this series. One, the Celtics have played much tougher teams. I don't think that's any debate. The Nets didn't look great in round 1. The sweep, the Celtics took care of it, but they went back-to-back Game 7 series. Ime Udoka is the first coach to win back-to-back Game 7s in his first playoff series, may I mention that. But they played the Bucks, a team that was expected to play in the and make it to the finals, and the Heat, who were also the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. You look at this schedule for the Golden State Warriors. I'm not going to, discount any of their opponents, but they played Denver, who didn't have Jamal Murray. They played the Grizzlies, who lost Ja Morant, and congratulations to the Dallas Mavericks for making it to the conference finals, but I do think there is a major difference between the Warriors and the Mavericks. So the Celtics are ready for a team like the Warriors. I think the Warriors are obviously ready for a team like the Celtics, but the Celtics have gone up against 3 major challenges. The first one wasn't exactly very challenging, and they accomplished those with a rookie head coach and a team who's never made it this far, not lost back-to-back games, and are on their way deservingly through a tough Eastern Conference going to the finals. Number 2, the big difference here is the Warriors are rested and the Celtics are not. The Celtics flew to Miami. The Celtics are flying to San Francisco for Game 1. The Celtics played 7 games in this series, in back-to-back series. Yes, they did get a nice break there after the first one, but the Golden State Warriors go into this after going 5 games and resting throughout the entire time the Celtics played the rest of their series. I mean, the rest is not really a huge concern of mine when it comes to NBA. I mean, other sports people are like, oh, how could rest affect this team? The NBA has rest down to a science. And this game's also 7 games. So if the Warriors come out cold, there's still 6 more games for them to come back and win the series. I mean, there's no concern for me at all when it comes to rest. If anything, the Celtics played 14 games in 2 series. They have to fly here, there, and everywhere. We're talking about the southernmost city in the U.S. We're talking about a team that's on the West Coast. And Boston's crammed up there in the northeast of the U.S. They're not traveling to New York and Cleveland. They're traveling to Miami and San Francisco. So the Celtics are going to be, fatigue is something I expect more on the Celtics side than the Golden State Warriors. Now, here are my keys to the series if the Celtics are going to win it all. One, they need to show up in San Francisco. And I know that's an incredibly easy thing to say. You play 4 games potentially in San Francisco. But the Warriors are a team that's not afraid to go to the other city and win. We're talking about a team like the Golden State Warriors, a team that's won multiple NBA championships. This team, when they won in Dallas, won 37 consecutive road games in a postseason series. So we're not talking about just showing up to San Francisco and squeezing out a win. We're talking about going to San Francisco, needing to split the series. And that's a challenge because Golden State's one of the best teams in basketball. We're talking about the NBA Finals, a team that's been to the NBA Finals. And the Celtics are a team that, yes, has accepted every challenge that's run into them here in the postseason. But winning 2 on the road against a team that has experience coaching-wise, too. Steve Kerr's won all those titles with the Golden State Warriors. It's a huge challenge. But the Celtics are going to have to accept it. 2, this isn't going to be a series where one guy just takes over offensively. I mean, we saw Giannis play out of his mind. We saw Jimmy Butler play out of his mind. But throughout the series, we were questioning who of the rest, really not so much Drew Holiday because he did step up, but who of the rest was going to be that guy to help the main stars on the team. And there were games we saw individual players both blow up. We saw the Adebayo game. We saw the Strus game. We saw, some of the front court players make a strong impact for the Bucks alongside Giannis. When you go into this series for the Celtics, it's not just Steph Curry. Like I mentioned before, they have 5 other guys that can score you 10-plus points per game easily. Some can even get you towards the 20s. The Celtics team defense needs to be on point. Now, I expect Marcus Smart to get a lot of play against Steph Curry. And we're talking about the DPOY against someone who could have his name mentioned in the top 10 conversation NBA history coming up between now and the next couple seasons, depending on how many titles he does win. He has a few already to his name in Steph Curry. The Celtics need to play outstanding defense, specifically on the perimeter. Jimmy's a guy who can drive. In the Bucks are a team that can shoot. Giannis, not as much. But we're talking about a team that shoots threes at an elite rate, makes threes at an elite rate. And if the Celtics go on these little dips where they can't score, they're going to be in a lot of trouble going up against the Warriors. Because, again, the Warriors are a team that makes threes. They could drop 4 threes in 4 possessions. You go cold in that possession, that game could be over very quickly. So my 2 keys are there. Play good defense, specifically on the perimeter. Don't just expect to have to stop one guy. And if they don't box out, last thing, against Kevon Looney, who's the most underrated rebounder in the league, and Draymond Green, who's going to cause a ton of fits at the 4 at times, play the 5, they're going to be in a tough spot. Because you give the Warriors extra possessions, and they're knocking down those threes, you give them 15-plus points behind the perimeter off of second-chance baskets, you're going to have a really tough time winning a 3-point game there in the 4th quarter. So there's a lot the Celtics need to do if they want to win this series. They're playing one of the best teams in the NBA. Yes, they're the 3 seed. Don't let that fool you in the Western Conference. We saw, obviously, the Suns choke, and the Warriors beat the seed ahead of them in the Golden State Warriors. Say what you want about the Memphis Grizzlies. Say what you want about the injuries. But they beat the teams on their schedule. The Celtics are battle-tested. They don't lose back-to-back games. That, of course, could change as the competition gets even harder. But in a 7-game series, can they beat the Warriors? They absolutely can. They're longer. They can keep up pace-wise. They can go on stretches where they make threes that replicate theirs. Can they prevent second-chance points? Can they box out some of these extremely physical rebounders in the front court? Can they play good perimeter defense? I'm going Celtics in 7. Back-to-back-to-back game 7s. Needing to win a road game in game 7. Bring it on. The finals will be fun. I think we got the finals everyone wanted. Can Steph get 4? Can Tatum get his first? He's 4-1 in his career in game 7s. Jaylen Brown 5-1. Ime Udoka 2-0. Get ready for a war here in the NBA Finals. What do you think of the NBA Finals between the Golden State Warriors and Boston Celtics? Feel free to give your thoughts in the comment section below. Also, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more of my exclusive content. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in, and we will see you very soon.